Good morning. My name's Chris Adlam with the Youth Pledge for Employers. I'm delighted to be joined by Wayne Fountain, the owner of Fountain Sport this morning. Hello, Wayne.
Hiya.
Fantastic. Thanks for sparing your time to talk to me this morning. I guess my start off for 10 question has to be, please tell us a bit about Fountain Sport.
Right. So I'm essentially a sports therapist, sports massage therapist. I treat people with sporting injuries, non-sporting injuries, probably more people with, I guess, who just do day-to-day jobs. It'd be manual labour, builders, office workers, treating a whole host of injuries and ailments. My services include sports massage, sports therapy, acupuncture, ultrasound, cupping, I-stand, which is instrument soft tissue mobilization. That's basically kind of what I do.
No, that's brilliant, and thanks for giving us a few examples of exactly the kind of therapies and kind of things you do. I've received some of them in the past, so I've sort of got an idea there. So obviously, you must work with a wide array of people with a wide array of experiences and different needs and requirements. So sort of in a nutshell, sort of how do you have to adapt how you are sort of from person to person? So what skills do you sort of need, if you see what I mean, to be able to maybe treat one person one way and then treat another person another way, etc.?
Right. Well, obviously you're face to face and you're in close contact with someone. So the first thing is obviously building a relationship with that person, because you have to have trust. Like I say, if you're going to be in close proximity with someone, they need to trust you. So I guess when I have a new patient, I get them in, we discuss what's going on with them. And then we'll sort of talk about what I'm going to do. I think it's always good to tell someone what's going to happen, because some people have what they call white coat syndrome, which I guess usually, I used to have it myself going to the dentist. I hated it. So it's all about kind of, I guess, putting them at ease. Some people have been there before. They've had treatments, like you're saying yourself, so you know what it's all about. So they feel. Some people are nervous. Some people are quite relaxed about things. So yeah, I think that's the key thing first, is to build that relationship and that trust. And I always try and sort of find out. I mean, if it's, for instance, someone who's into their running, then we'll have a chat about kind of running, like while I'm doing the treatment, And I guess. I mean, I've been doing this since 2018, 2019. And I guess I've built quite a lot of friendships out of it. So when people come in now, it's just, hello, mate, how's it going? And we crack on. So yeah, that to me, first and foremost, is build a relationship with someone and put someone at ease.
No, that's really interesting to sort of hear that emphasis on that rapport building ability. And it's only when you actually say that that white coat syndrome, you can definitely understand why people might be a little bit sort of worried or unsure, if they come to a professional like you for the first time, because as I say, they're not sure about the impact it's going to have on their body and those kind of things. So that ability, as I say, to put people at ease. And I know I've definitely, as I say, I've received procedures before where I had no idea what they were until the person was suddenly doing them to my body, if you see what I mean. They say if you don't have that ability to build that rapport and build that trusting relationship, then as I say, you're never going to be able to progress with the treatments. So no, that's really, really interesting. And sort of on a sort of day-to-day basis, do you go out and about to people's workplaces and their homes? Do you have your own sort of place of operation where you work from?
So at the beginning, when I started, I didn't actually have my own premises. I worked. I still actually do work in one clinic now, a few days a week, but now I have my own space, which is this behind me. But I used to do sort of mobile appointments, going to whether it be someone's house or going to someone's work. But primarily now it's it's either in this clinic here or in the clinic I do a couple of days a week in.
Okay, no, that's brilliant, and it's nice to see how it's evolved, as you say, sort of based on as you built up that group of clients. And how do you deal with sort of the other side of being the owner of a business, if you see what I mean? So as you say, you sort of can you just sort of tell me a little bit about how sort of Found Sport started and how you've sort of how maybe you've had to learn new skills and demonstrate new skills to sort of have it grow in those sort of 2-3 years you've been running.
Yeah, well, before doing this, I used to be an engineer. I was a process engineer. I was a mechanical maintenance engineer. I guess I hit a point where I just had enough. I didn't. I guess going to work every day, it just felt like a bit of a grind. So it took me probably a year or two to really figure out what it is I actually wanted to do, and more so really finding courses that would fit in around working full time. So yeah, it was I guess it was hard work, and I guess I never saw myself as that person who could just come out of I guess a well-paid job and a secure job to essentially go into being self-employed. And it was a bit sort of scary, but I worked hard, and you have to kind of trust the process and back yourself, and keep educating yourself. That's been key for me. I don't stop learning. I'm always looking for the next course I can do, or I do maybe there's I mean, with all the social media stuff and YouTube and things you can get now, and you can, someone might come in with an injury and I've never heard of it, and then you go away and you research that, so next time they're in, you've got you've got a full background on it. So yeah, I guess with anything, it's Rome wasn't built in a day. Baby steps. Sometimes it can see like you're looking up the mountain and you think, am I ever going to get to the peak? But I'm not saying I'm at the peak, but I'm going in the right direction. So yeah.
No, that's brilliant, and I think that sort of philosophy you said of always wanting to find out what the next thing to learn is, and having those goals to, as I say, keep developing your skill set and your experiences, is a brilliant one to have. And have you found, as you say, since you've gone into sort of the self-employed role, have you found that you've had to utilize that maybe in areas that maybe you didn't have before your own business? As you say, maybe you've had to look into sort of how you market yourself. Now you're managing your own finances. These are maybe things that you wouldn't have done before having your own business.
Yeah, definitely. You're on your own. It's you're the purveyor of your own destiny. I had to sort of learn a lot about marketing, even things like SEO, search engine optimization, which probably sounds quite boring and techie, but it's when I launched a website, for about the first probably 8 to 10 months, it just wasn't appearing on page 1 of Google. And obviously that's where you want to be. You need to be high up as possible, because if people are searching whatever injuries or something like that in your area, you want to be top of the tree. So I had to learn about doing that, which was a lot of it was completely over my head. So yeah, I did actually manage to get my website on page 1 of Google. And then I guess things like social media, things with like Facebook with pages and stuff like that. You build your business profile. You have you write posts. I write blogs, which again can be. I'm not great with words, as in putting them down into text, but things like that just kind of help. Just keep ticking along, keeping your name like in the public domain, I guess. But yeah.
No, that's really interesting, and sort of, I appreciate your honesty, and as you say, sort of how so you've sort of had to look at the areas where maybe you've had to learn and develop skills, as you say, to sort of to do the things you need to build your business, as you say, build your brand name, make sure you're at the top of the list there. So no, I appreciate all of the honesty on that. And this sort of next question I'm going into, I sort of ask a lot of employers this, and one thing we try to do as a project is we really want to give people an idea of sort of what are the sort of good days of your job and what are the sort of challenges of your job, if you see what I mean. So in a nutshell, if you had to try and describe a typical day, and I know there is no such thing as a typical day really in any profession, but if you were to sort of go through a roughly typical kind of day for you and sort of maybe what the biggest challenges are and what the biggest rewards are, sort of how would you describe that?
I mean, the biggest challenges are when someone comes in and they have a condition that you've never heard about, or if that person is, for instance, I've treated people with a whole variety of conditions. I mean, I actually remember my first day in clinic in the chiropractic clinic I work at. My first patient was a lady who was in a wheelchair. So, and no one had ever trained me into, I mean, how, for instance, obviously there's, I don't know if you can see, but like there's my couch behind me where most people get on and have their treatment. And I didn't know, like, do I help this lady out of her chair? How mobile is she? I think she was a quadriplegic. So, and I guess my first instinct inside me was fear, because I just thought, I don't know what to do here. But it was just like, well, just ask her, how can I help you? And then I guess the rewards that you get out of the job are when people report back to you that you've actually kind of helped them in some small way. So yeah.
No, that's brilliant. And if going back to that scenario you sort of just painted there, exactly, if we go back to talk about that woman, do you feel, I can imagine a lot of people who would probably they might struggle to ask that question. They might struggle to speak openly to her and sort of say, okay, how best am I to treat you and sort of work with you? Do you feel that do you think it was your maybe whether it's previous work experiences, sort of you as a person, sort of what made you sort of feel comfortable, as you say, that you could have this nice open discussion with her, if you see what I mean, whereas a lot of people maybe might have shied away from it?
I think the initial consultation we had, where she came in and there's like a little bit of form filling, we do like a health status questionnaire, purely for like contraindications, if they're on any medications and stuff like that, why they've come to see you. So I always try and kind of be very personable and engage with them and make them feel comfortable. And I think she's a very nice lady. So like, I guess she made me feel at ease. The fact that I just said, look, I'm going to hold my hands up here. I don't know what you want me to do. Would you like me to help you? Do you want me to lower the bed? Like all these things. And she was great. I just said, just use me how you see fit. So yeah, it can be awkward, but I think you just have to just hit things straight on the nose and just go for it.
Do you think it's those sort of, how do I put it? Lots of people, as I say, could do the training you've done or do similar courses or something. But what do you think of those, how do I put it, those values and those characteristics that you sort of need to have before the training, if you see what I mean, to sort of to work in this field?
Yeah, I think I've always been quite a kind of chatty type, and I guess I'm a bit of a social chameleon in terms of I can get along with most people in the room. I guess I've always thought that I don't know a lot, but I know little bits about a lot. So
Yeah.
you can, and it's all about, it could be, I don't know, if someone comes in and, I don't know, if they're wearing a football shirt, there you go, there's your cue. Let's talk about football, because you know that's going to put them at ease. Or yeah, it's I guess it's just reading the room. It's seeing what that person's about.
No, I understand that completely. And as you say, it's taking those cues and those prompts, and as you say, looking for a way to initiate a conversation, build some rapport, that makes everything easier. And you sort of touched a little bit on it there, but if we had a young person maybe who's looking to get into this field, and as I say, they've got a keen interest, but maybe they don't think their communication skills are as strong, or maybe they don't think they have the sort of say the sort of personable chameleon approach you have. Sort of what advice would you give to them, or what things do you think you can do, or would you advise them to do, that where maybe they could sort of sharpen and hone those skills? Because I'm guessing maybe that you weren't, as I say, always sort of the social chameleon. So sort of based on your own experiences as well, what kind of things do you think they can do to become better at that?
I mean, I would have, I guess if you've got someone in, you have, when you're asking them questions and stuff, I'd have maybe like a little notepad at the side with like little prompts, like little kind of things you can ask them about. I mean, for instance, if doing my job, the first thing, I mean, with the consultation forms, there's questions on there about what their job is. So you'd ask them, so what I've actually got, so I've got a form here. Let me just put the name out. There's a form there, and you probably can't see because of the light, but on there, there's things on there about occupation, sports, the position, stuff like that. So those would be key things straight away, where you've asked them about their job. So there's something you've got to go on there. Now, it could be a job which you don't know a lot about, or then you ask them about a sport. Do you do anything in your spare time? And then you've got that. I just think it's just breaking the ice. So that's, as a young person, that's what I would do. I would have those cues, and then if they was, for instance, if they said, "Oh, I play football." "Oh, who do you play football for? How many times a week do you play? What team do you support? Do you go and watch that team? Who's your favourite player? Are you watching the World Cup?" You can then sort of just build a conversation from there. I mean, I'll be honest. Every time I get a new patient, as much as I'm confident, there is also a little bit of nerves, because you don't know what that person's going to be like. I mean, touch wood, I've been quite lucky in terms of, I'd say probably 99 out of 100 people I see are all good eggs, and I'm not saying that one person's a bad egg, but that one person could be really shy. So you then, I guess it's then just reading the room. It's like, maybe they just don't want to talk, maybe they just want to zone out and relax, and that's fine. But yeah, that's kind of how I would target it.
No, I think that's a really good approach. I know it's really difficult, sort of, how do I put it, to break down how people can grow sort of social skills required for different roles and stuff. But I actually really like the idea that you sort of say you've got your document there as a tool, you've got your prompts, and as I say, you've sort of got as I say, the resources you need until it becomes more organic, as you say, until I'm assuming that you've probably, as I say, now you've seen enough patients that you sort of, as you say, the kind of things to ask, the kind of areas to maybe sort of try and initiate a conversation. But as you say, creating a tool for yourself in the first place that you can use as a reference until that becomes more organic. I think that's really great idea. and really interesting. And you touched on this a little bit earlier. And I'm not saying that you didn't wake up one morning and you were like, you know what, I want to own my own, sports therapy business one day. But sort of, because I think you said about how you were an engineer, and obviously now you've come into this field. Obviously, that's quite quite a career change. So I don't know if you just want to give me a brief sort of summary of sort of your career and stuff. And as you say, maybe touch a little bit more on the moment where you were like, hang on a minute, actually, I want to change field, and maybe what motivated you to do so?
Yeah, so I think I'm at an age now where when I was at school, I guess the teachers at school would push you into a normal job, go and go and do an apprenticeship. I've always had a keen passion for music and stuff, and to be honest, when I was 15, 16, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a footballer, and I was never going to be a footballer because I wasn't good enough.
I know the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember having, I don't know if this exists now, but I remember having a meeting with an external careers advisor who was absolutely brilliant, lovely lady, and she said to me about being a sound engineer. I didn't know what that was. And then she explained it to me, and I said, oh, that sounds good. My old careers teacher, the in-house careers teacher, he was a little bit draconian, and he just said, well, that's nonsense. You need to get a proper trade. So off I went. I went to sixth form, and then I done an apprenticeship in printing, which I did actually really enjoy. But then the company, they handed out lots of redundancies. The branch who I worked for, they closed them down, and then that's when I then kind of fell into engineering. I done an apprenticeship. It's a good job. Did I ever really enjoy it? Yes and no. I think I've got friends who are engineers, and they love their job. That's what they'll be for the rest of their lives. I never really did feel it was me. I just felt it was a job, not a career. I think I really do wish what I'm doing now I'd have done at an early age, because when you're younger you don't have to worry about the boring things like mortgages and bills and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you kind of get into that, I guess tied down with all that, you can't just go, right, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go train to do something else. So I had to balance work and training and having a life. So now I've got a nephew who's 18, and just the opportunities he's had. For instance, with the football, back when I was sort of 15, 16, you could either be a footballer or a football manager or a physiotherapist. That was pretty much it. Now there's this whole raft of things you can do: sports therapy, analytics. There's just so much to do. And I guess, I'm probably showing my age, but it wasn't there back then. So yeah, I'd always sort of had a keen interest in it. So yeah, in the end, I just thought, you only get one life, let's do it. And as scary as it was, it's the best thing I've ever done.
No, brilliant. That's a lovely note, and you've touched on it there. And sort of just to round up, really, I've asked this question to all of the employers I've ever talked to, and so you've touched on it a little bit there. But based on the experiences you've had and you've just discussed with me, if you could go back and speak to, say 16, 17-year-old Wayne and give yourself a piece of career advice based on the experiences you've had, what would be that piece of advice?
I really do think I would have said, go to university.
Okay.
I really do. It was never really. It was never really. It just wasn't even like on my radar when I was that age. So yeah, that is kind of. And I think maybe I probably would have had a little bit of a kickback as well, and maybe gone against my teacher and said, no, like, this sound engineering is something that sounds very good, and I'm going to follow that, instead of just going, oh, okay, I'll go and do a trade, which I'm not taking anyway from anything from being a trade. I'd love to be a carpenter or a plumber. I mean, you've got work for life, and that's another thing. You can be your own boss. I mean, trying to get a plumber or electrician, a builder at the moment is impossible. But yeah, I think yeah, and I think, especially now the times we're in where everything is instant, I would say be patient, trust the process, and don't be in a rush to get anywhere too quickly. Because I think when you're younger, all you want to do is you left school, you just want to earn money and you want to have a good time. And you can do that, but yeah, that would kind of be my advice to myself, I guess.
No, I think that's really nice. I think there's loads of nice pieces there, as you've said, sort of, yeah, look and take, different opportunities, as you said there, about maybe, having gone to university, or as you say, trying the, the less draconian, career path, you said. And yeah, I think it is really easy to sort of be, as you said, with everything being quite instant nowadays, to be swept along with something. So yeah, being patient, waiting for those right opportunities to come up, making sure you're ready to take them when they do. I think that's a brilliant career note to end on. And thank you for having the time to talk to me this morning, Wayne.
No problem. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.